Welcome, legends. If you're searching for something that lifts your spirit and sharpens your mind, you're in the right place. Today's message carries the power to shift your entire outlook. And if you want more life-changing stories like this, hit subscribe and stay with us on this journey. Every great transformation begins with a single moment. A moment when you realize that the world outside isn't your biggest opponent. Your mind is. Bruce Lee understood this long before the world knew his name. And that's why his journey to success was never just about martial arts. It was about mastering the battlefield within. Most people think Bruce Lee became unstoppable because of his speed, strength, or technique. But the truth is far deeper. His real power came from the way he shaped his thoughts. He believed the mind was the engine behind every achievement, every breakthrough, and every success story. And if that engine isn't strong, your entire life stays stuck in the same place. Bruce Lee once shared that a negative thought can limit you before you even take your first step. That's why he trained his mind with the same intensity as he trained his body. He refused to let self-doubt, fear, or hesitation build a home inside him. Because he knew one thing clearly: you become whatever you feed your mind. Imagine this for a moment. Every challenge you face, every setback, every failure, every moment of uncertainty isn't there to break you. It's there to show you what needs to grow inside you. This is exactly how Bruce Lee looked at life. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" he asked, "What can I learn from this to rise stronger?" This shift in thinking became his superpower. It gave him the clarity to move past obstacles, the courage to take risks, and the confidence to build the life he imagined. And this same shift can change your life too. Because the truth is simple. The mind you carry determines the world you walk into. If your thoughts are filled with fear, your path feels dark. But if your thoughts are filled with strength, your path opens up in ways you never expected. Bruce Lee believed that positivity isn't about forcing yourself to smile. It's about choosing thoughts that empower you rather than control you. It's about turning challenges into lessons, doubts into drive, and setbacks into stepping stones. And once you master that, once your mind becomes your strongest ally, success stops feeling like a dream and starts becoming your reality. One of the most overlooked parts of Bruce Lee's success was the conversation he had with himself, the inner dialogue that shaped every decision, every movement, every victory. Most people underestimate how powerful their inner voice can be. But Bruce understood something essential. The words you whisper to yourself are the words that build your future. Think about it. Every time you face a challenge, there are two voices inside you. One says, "You can't do this." The other says, "Try again. You're stronger than you think." The voice you choose to listen to determines the direction your life moves in. Bruce Lee chose the voice that lifted him higher. Not because he was never afraid or never uncertain, but because he knew that feeding fear only creates more of it. Bruce believed that your mind is like a garden. If you plant seeds of doubt, they grow into barriers. If you plant seeds of courage, they grow into possibilities. So he made a daily choice to plant strong thoughts, powerful thoughts, thoughts that reminded him of who he wanted to become rather than who he used to be. This practice wasn't about pretending everything was perfect. It was about staying focused on growth, even when life felt difficult. When setbacks came, and they always do, he didn't allow them to define him. Instead, he used them as reminders that progress comes from persistence. That every step forward, no matter how small, still moves you toward your dreams. Your inner dialogue works the same way. When you speak to yourself with confidence, your actions reflect that confidence. When you speak to yourself with doubt, your decisions shrink. Bruce understood this, and that's why he refined his thoughts with the same discipline he applied to his training. He often said that the mind must remain fluid, adaptable, open. Because a rigid mind breaks under pressure, but a flexible mind turns pressure into strength. This mindset allowed him to stay calm in chaos, focused in distraction, and determined even when the odds were against him. And here's the most powerful part. You have the same ability. You can choose what thoughts you allow to stay. You can shape the voice inside your mind. You can build a dialogue that reminds you of your worth, your capability, and your purpose. When that inner voice becomes your source of strength, you don't just survive challenges, you rise above them. Mastery doesn't begin in the muscles, it begins in the mind. Bruce Lee understood this better than anyone. To him, strength wasn't something you built once. It was something you maintained every day through discipline, clarity, and intentional thinking. And that's where his philosophy of controlled thoughts became one of the foundations of his success. Most people wake up and allow their minds to wander everywhere. One negative memory can ruin an entire day. One mistake can turn into hours of self-criticism. Bruce realized that if you don't guide your thoughts, they guide you, and not always in the direction you want. That's why he trained his mind the same way he trained his body, with discipline, focus, and consistency. Controlled thinking doesn't mean suppressing emotions or pretending challenges don't exist. It means choosing which thoughts deserve your attention and which ones don't. Bruce believed your mind is like a river, powerful, constantly moving, capable of shaping the world around it. But without guidance, a river floods. With direction, it becomes a source of life. Your thoughts work the same way. He made it a habit to watch his own thinking patterns, to observe which thoughts lifted him up and which pulled him down. Whenever a thought came that weakened him, fear, doubt, comparison, regret, he didn't fight it. He simply released it. He knew that resisting negative thoughts only strengthens them. Letting them pass removes their power. This kind of mental discipline gave him a level of emotional stability that many people struggle to reach. He stayed calm in pressure, sharp in chaos, and confident even in moments of uncertainty. And this wasn't something he discovered overnight. It was a skill, a practice, something he intentionally worked on every day. One of his guiding principles was simple yet profound. Do not allow negative thoughts to occupy your mind. They take root quickly if you feed them. So he replaced them with thoughts that aligned with his purpose, thoughts that kept him moving forward. This shift didn't just change his mindset, it changed his entire life. Imagine for a moment how powerful your life becomes when you control your thoughts instead of letting them control you. You stop overthinking mistakes. You stop replaying the past. You stop letting fear steal your opportunities. Instead, your mind becomes a tool, sharp, focused, and devoted to your growth. Bruce Lee believed that a controlled mind creates a controlled life. This discipline gave him clarity when making decisions, efficiency in his training, and peace in his journey. It allowed him to stay committed to his goals, even when things didn't go as planned. And this is important. Success rarely arrives without obstacles. But when your mind is disciplined, those obstacles become temporary challenges instead of permanent walls. Controlled thinking also helped Bruce stay true to himself. In a world filled with opinions, expectations, and pressure, he stayed aligned with his own purpose because he filtered the noise out. He understood that not every thought deserves space in your mind. Not every worry deserves your energy. Not every doubt deserves your belief. And this is something you can start today. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need an ideal environment. You only need to observe your thoughts and choose the ones that serve your future, not your fear. Because once you develop control over your thoughts, you stop being pulled by emotions, distractions, and negativity. Instead, you move with intention. You grow with confidence. You live with purpose. And that is when you begin stepping into the strongest, clearest, and most powerful version of yourself. The version Bruce Lee believed everyone has within them. Every journey toward success faces obstacles. Every path worth walking has moments of doubt, fear, and frustration. But Bruce Lee had a mindset that turned challenges into fuel rather than barriers. He didn't see problems as dead ends. He saw them as opportunities to grow, to sharpen his mind, and to strengthen his character. This is the secret behind his legendary resilience and success. For most people, a challenge triggers stress. They focus on what went wrong or what could go wrong next. Bruce Lee's approach was radically different. He trained his mind to immediately look for the lesson hidden in every situation. If something didn't go as planned, he asked, "What can I learn from this?" instead of "Why is this happening to me?" This simple shift completely transformed his relationship with difficulties. Challenges, according to Bruce, were like weights in a gym for the mind. Just as lifting heavy weights strengthens the body, facing difficult situations strengthens mental resilience. He believed that the stronger your mind, the less any external challenge can shake you. And he practiced this daily, in training, in his work, and in life. Imagine facing criticism, rejection, or failure. Most people let these moments define them, but Bruce used them as reminders of his own strength and purpose. Every obstacle became a mirror, showing him where he needed to grow. Every setback became a stepping stone to improvement. And this is where true mental power comes from. Not avoiding difficulties, but learning to use them strategically to fuel growth. Bruce also understood that how you respond to a challenge is more important than the challenge itself. Two people can face the exact same problem, yet one crumbles while the other rises stronger. The difference lies in mindset. He mastered the art of turning negative experiences into sources of motivation. This ability allowed him to stay focused, disciplined, and calm even in high-pressure situations. Another key aspect of his mindset was patience. Growth doesn't happen overnight. Bruce Lee knew that challenges might slow progress, but they never stop it completely. By staying patient, persistent, and consistent, he turned even the toughest obstacles into opportunities to refine his skills, strengthen his mind, and deepen his understanding of life. The final piece of Bruce's approach was self-reflection. He regularly examined how he reacted to challenges, what thoughts dominated his mind, and whether he was using obstacles as excuses or as fuel. This constant self-audit ensured that he never stayed stuck and always converted adversity into action. And here's the most powerful takeaway. You can do the same. You can transform the difficulties in your life into lessons, strength, and motivation. Every challenge you face can become a tool to build resilience, sharpen focus, and cultivate a mindset that refuses to quit. Bruce Lee didn't wait for life to be easy. He embraced the struggle, learned from it, and used it as a stepping stone to greatness. And when you adopt this mindset, you realize something extraordinary. The hardest moments in life are not your enemies. They are your allies, guiding you toward the person you are truly capable of becoming. Bruce Lee's legendary mindset wasn't built in a single moment. It was built every day through small, intentional habits that shaped his thoughts, emotions, and actions. He understood one simple truth. Your daily habits are the scaffolding of your mind, and the thoughts you feed yourself every day determine the life you create. For Bruce, positivity wasn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything was perfect. It was about consistently choosing thoughts, actions, and routines that reinforce growth, focus, and confidence. He knew that the mind, like a muscle, strengthens with practice. The more he exercised his mind with constructive habits, the more resilient and unstoppable he became. One key habit was reflection. Every day, Bruce would spend time reviewing his thoughts, actions, and intentions. He asked himself questions like, did I let fear control me today? Or what did I learn from my mistakes? This daily reflection wasn't about criticism. It was about awareness. It allowed him to identify patterns, strengthen his thinking, and correct the course before small issues became big obstacles. Another habit was visualization. Bruce often visualized his goals, not just physically, but mentally. He saw himself overcoming challenges, achieving mastery, and living the life he desired. Visualization helped him align his thoughts with his actions, creating a mental map of success before even taking the first step. It's a simple but powerful technique that primes your mind to act with confidence and purpose. Bruce also cultivated a habit of positive self-talk. He carefully chose words that empowered him instead of words that drained him. Whenever doubt or fear appeared, he countered it with affirmations and reminders of his strength and ability. This daily practice of guiding his inner voice reinforced a mindset of resilience, courage, and determination. Consistency was another cornerstone of his approach. Bruce believed that success is the result of repeated, deliberate actions over time. He didn't rely on inspiration alone. He relied on disciplined routines that kept his mind sharp and focused. By being consistent with how he thought, trained, and reflected, he created an unshakable mental foundation. Finally, Bruce valued learning as a daily habit. He constantly sought knowledge, new experiences, and feedback. He understood that the mind thrives when it grows. Every lesson, every book, every conversation became a tool for expanding his perspective and strengthening his mindset. Here's the lesson for you. Building a positive mindset isn't about dramatic transformations overnight. It's about consistent, intentional habits. Reflection, visualization, positive self-talk, learning, and consistency are your tools. Use them every day, and your mind will become your strongest ally. Bruce Lee's life proves that small, deliberate habits compound into extraordinary results. When you adopt these habits, challenges become manageable, doubts lose their power, and your mind begins to create the life you truly want. The path to success isn't only about talent. It's about the daily choices you make and the thoughts you choose to nurture. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have. Treat it with care. Feed it with positivity. Shape it with intention. And every day, inch closer to the unstoppable, resilient, and focused version of yourself that Bruce Lee believed was possible for anyone willing to commit. Fear and self-doubt are some of the strongest barriers that stop people from reaching their full potential. Bruce Lee understood this better than most. He realized that the greatest opponent he would ever face wasn't in the ring or on the training mat. It was inside his own mind. And the way he conquered fear and doubt is a lesson that anyone can apply every single day. Bruce Lee once said that fear is a natural reaction to moving closer to the truth of what you are capable of. In other words, whenever you step outside your comfort zone, doubt and fear will appear. But he didn't see this as a reason to stop. Instead, he viewed fear as a signal, a guide showing him where growth and transformation were waiting. This simple shift in perspective changed everything about the way he approached challenges. Most people try to avoid fear. They wait until they feel ready, or they let hesitation control their actions. Bruce Lee did the opposite. He faced fear head-on, step by step. He trained his mind to remain calm, focused, and intentional even when fear was present. Instead of running from discomfort, he leaned into it. That's where true growth happens, in the moments that feel uncomfortable, uncertain, or intimidating. Self-doubt works in a similar way. It whispers, "You're not ready. You're not enough. You'll fail." Bruce understood that these thoughts are not facts. They're temporary mental reactions. They only gain power when you give them attention. So, he practiced awareness, recognizing when doubt appeared and consciously choosing thoughts that aligned with his goals and values instead of his fears. This practice is what allowed him to stay confident and take bold actions, even under pressure. Another key strategy he used was preparation. Bruce Lee believed that confidence doesn't come from avoiding fear. It comes from preparation and skill. The more he trained his body and mind, the less power fear had over him. Preparation gave him certainty in his abilities and reduced the impact of doubt, creating a mental shield that allowed him to act decisively. Visualization was also crucial. Bruce would imagine himself succeeding, overcoming obstacles, and achieving mastery. By seeing success in his mind first, he trained his brain to respond with confidence, even when reality was uncertain. This mental rehearsal made fear and doubt lose their grip, replacing them with focus and determination. The takeaway is clear. Fear and doubt will always appear, but you don't have to let them stop you. You can acknowledge them, learn from them, and use them as signals for growth. By preparing, practicing awareness, and training your mind to focus on positive, empowering thoughts, you can turn fear into fuel and self-doubt into motivation. Bruce Lee didn't become a legend by being fearless. He became a legend by mastering his mind, choosing courage over hesitation, and transforming every doubt into a stepping stone toward greatness. And the same approach can work for you every single day in every challenge you face. Bruce Lee's life teaches us a simple truth. True strength is born not in the body, but in the mind. All the skills, techniques, and knowledge in the world cannot replace a focused, resilient, and disciplined mind. By now, we've explored the power of controlled thoughts, the habits that reinforce positivity, and the way challenges, fear, and self-doubt can become fuel rather than barriers. In this final part, we tie it all together and see how mindset transforms into unstoppable action. Bruce believed that thoughts alone are not enough. You must act on them. A positive, focused, and disciplined mind creates possibilities, but those possibilities only manifest when paired with intentional action. He didn't wait for the perfect moment or for obstacles to disappear. He moved forward every day, using the clarity and strength he built in his mind to guide every decision and every step. One of the most important lessons from Bruce's approach is the alignment of intention with action. He asked himself, does what I'm doing right now reflect the person I want to become? This question kept him intentional in every choice, from training sessions to creative projects. By constantly aligning actions with goals and values, he ensured that his energy wasn't wasted and that every step moved him closer to mastery. Another cornerstone of his success was consistency. Bruce Lee knew that brilliance isn't a single act. It's a series of deliberate, repeated actions over time. Just as he trained his body day after day, he cultivated mental habits that reinforced resilience, focus, and positivity. Small daily actions, fueled by the right mindset, compound into extraordinary results. This principle applies to everyone, whether you want to master a skill, overcome obstacles, or transform your life. Bruce also mastered adaptability. Life will never go exactly as planned, and challenges will always appear. But when your mind is strong and flexible, you don't break, you adapt. Bruce saw every change, every obstacle, and every unexpected situation as an opportunity to refine his strategy, grow stronger, and move forward with greater clarity. This adaptability allowed him to stay unstoppable, even in the face of uncertainty. Finally, Bruce Lee's mindset reminds us that greatness is not a destination, but a continuous journey. You become unstoppable not by achieving one goal, but by cultivating the mindset that keeps you moving forward, learning, and growing. It's about taking control of your thoughts, building daily habits, confronting fear, and transforming challenges into fuel. This is the path to sustained success, fulfillment, and mastery. Here's the ultimate takeaway. Your mind is your most powerful tool. When you control it, guide it, and align it with intentional action, you become unstoppable. You no longer wait for circumstances to change, you shape them. You no longer let fear or doubt decide your limits. You decide your own potential. And just like Bruce Lee, you realize that your life can be a reflection of the clarity, focus, and power of your own mind. The power is in your hands. Every thought you choose, every habit you build, and every action you take shapes your future. When you combine mental strength with persistent, aligned action, nothing can stop you. You become not only capable, but unstoppable, a force that turns challenges into triumphs, doubts into motivation, and dreams into reality. Bruce Lee's philosophy shows us that the greatest battles are fought within. Win them, and the world outside becomes limitless. Thank you for staying with me until the end. I hope Bruce Lee's mindset inspires you as much as it has inspired me. If you found this video valuable, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss content that can help you grow. Your support means everything. Let's keep learning and growing together.